This has been Mycellus from the MeidasTouch network. Jared Kushner is out on a wine tour, and by that I mean he's out there whining on Fox News about every issue, trying apparently to sell books. He just had a disastrous book release. I'm not even going to give the name of the title, but the book was so bad that New York Times book reviewer Dwight Gardner said, "The book reminded me of watching a cat lick a dog's eye goo." More on that later, but first I'm going to show you a clip of Jared Kushner with Mark Levin talking about extremism and his and Donald Trump's confrontation of extremism while in the White House. Play the clip.
Quite extraordinary. I write about President Trump's first trip to Saudi Arabia and Israel, and then to visit the Pope in Rome. In 2017, ISIS had a caliphate the size of Ohio. We had extremists, people being radicalized online who had attacks here in America in San Bernardino and the Pulse nightclub shooting. And radical extremism was a major issue. And President Trump didn't run from the problem. He ran to the problem, got all the world leaders together and said, we're going to solve this together. And he's created tremendous peace that's been enduring and very, very impactful on the world.
Yeah, that's classic Jared Kushner right there. Jared Kushner, you and Trump caused the extremism. That's why you ran towards the extremism, because you were extremists. Now I'm going to show you this other clip from Mark Levin with Jared Kushner, where Jared Kushner whines about the media coverage he received. Let's play this clip.
All the rest of it. How were you able to cope with that? And your wife is in the White House. You have your father-in-law is in the White House, and I mean you're working and you're working hard, but you're human beings. How do you cope with this?
It was very hard, Mark, and I worked hard to get the stories done accurately and to compress all of it, because we did have impeachments, investigations, special counsels. It played a big toll on me. I mean, there was times where you're sitting there and you're saying they're accusing me of these unbelievable things. I'm watching CNN and MSNBC, and I'm watching these media properties that I'd always held with esteem, like the New York Times and the Washington Post, writing things about me that I know aren't true. But in our country, it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. But in our case, it was guilty until proven innocent. And we just had to put our heads down and work through and not allow it to distract us from the work we were doing.
Okay, now back to the book review by the New York Times book reviewer Dwight Gardner, who basically wrote that Kushner's book was the single worst book that he ever read. This was a classic book review takedown, one of the greatest book review takedowns I've ever seen. Now, this is what Dwight Gardner says about Kushner's book. He says, Kushner looks like a mannequin, and he writes like one too. He writes, and I mentioned this earlier, this book reminded me of watching a cat lick a dog's eye goo. He writes, the tone is college admission essay style. Further, he writes, queasy making. And then he also says that it includes a cringeworthy praise for a subject such as, Jared did an amazing job. Jared's a genius. You deserve an award for all that you've done. The book review goes on to describe how delusional Jared Kushner is in the book review, thinking that he's some genius and not some trust fund kid who married into the radical right-wing fascist Trump family, and that he was basically used by all of our foreign enemies to try to get information and try to exploit the United States of America. Jared Kushner is completely delusional, and I love to see that his book is so utterly failing. This has been Ben Mycellus from the MeidasTouch network. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button.
Hey Midas Mighty, Emma Silverman here reminding you to make this November Rowvember. Check out the new MeidasTouch Rowvember t-shirt collection at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com. Hurry up and get your Rowvember t-shirt before they sell out. Let's go.